The following program is recorded content created by the Truth Network.
It's Matt Slick Live. Matt is the founder and president of the Christian Apologetics Research Ministry, found online at carm.org. When you have questions about Bible doctrines, turn to Matt Slick Live for answers. Taking your calls and responding to your questions at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It's me, Matt Slick. Listen to Matt Slick Live. If you want, you give me a call as usual. The number is 877-207-2276. We have nobody waiting right now. If you want to call, be the first one today. Today's date is December 17th, 2024 for the podcasters. And I got a debate in 2 nights on whether or not Mary is playing an intercession role in heaven. And it'll be with the Roman Catholics, so I'll be prepping on that. And we'll see how that goes. Of course, I say no, she's not able to hear millions of prayers simultaneously spoken and thought all over the world. You know, that makes her into a functioning goddess. And let's see what else. Now, next week will be no live radio, and I won't be on until the 1st or the 2nd of January. I'm going to find out which one it is, because, it's a first. Are they going to be off the radio station on the 1st? And if not, I'll be on the air, and I'll find out later. Not a big deal. Hey, look, December is Matching Funds Drive. If you were to, want to support us in the radio show and the ministry, then all you got to do is just go to carm.org, carm.org/donate, and all the information is there. Now, maybe you want to know why you might want to support a ministry like this. So let me give you some reasons. One, the Carm website has had 165 million visitors. We have an average, I think it's like, I forgot, I can open my file and give you more accurate numbers. Yeah, there it is right there. There's the numbers. We've had 165 million visitors, 93 million returning visitors. And what that means is that 165 different individual computers, that's how they measure it, have come to visit the site. And of those, 93 million have come back repeatedly. So the site reaches a great deal of people, and it's 29 years old. And from that, we've developed other outreaches. So the Carm Ministry, carm.org, the website. And what we're doing now, we're overhauling it. We've got several of us who are going through, looking at the articles. We are improving it in all kinds of ways. We had to do this because the search engine optimization algorithms and technology has grown past us, and we have to play catch up now. And that's okay. A lot of websites have to do that when different search engines change how they work and change what they look for. So we're going through and doing that. We have a nice program that we're using that points out issues, and so that's what we're doing. It takes a lot of work. It's just taken a lot of work. I've not read any new articles for a while because of it. We're just doing that. But also, we've been doing radio now for 20 years. So on January 2nd, it'll be the 20-year anniversary of me doing radio 5 days a week. So we've been with this network, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. I can't remember. And it's a great group of people there. Great group of people. I've talked to them over the phone, met Stu in person and others there. Great. And I'll be probably going out to Dallas for the National Religious Broadcasting Network, probably going out there at the end of February to do some more, to meet the people and do stuff. We've got lots of stuff we got to do. So there's that. And we also have a newsletter that goes out to, I don't know how many thousands of people. We do outreaches on Facebook, X. We have over 20,000 people who watch the videos on YouTube. I don't know how many we have on Rumble, because maybe someone could look it up and tell me in the private chat there, but we have thousands also. But we have only been on there for a little while compared to YouTube. And plus, we have missionaries in Nigeria, and I don't want to say his name because we're trying to protect him. He's been threatened with death because of the Muslims who are being supported by Iran are going into outskirts of villages in Nigeria and killing people, kidnapping them, and holding them for ransom. And then they use the money to buy more weapons to attack more people. Islam, it's just that's what true Islam really is. People call it radical Islam. That's just not true. It's true Islam. If you read the Quran and the Hadith, it talks about killing and subduing people. So that's a whole other issue. And then we have another guy in Malawi, and we support him, not full time, but we support him partially. Other ministries work with him. And on Fridays we have meetings, and we have guys from Africa that come into our meetings, and they're usually on a single phone, and a lot of times the electricity is out on their house or whatever it is, because that's just how it is out there sometimes. And they come in on a phone, and sometimes they can't even do that. So there's that. We have David, and he is in Brazil, and he works on the Portuguese site, and he converts our articles into Portuguese, and he also runs an orphanage. So we're supporting him, and he's got, I think, 200 kids he's working with, and we've been supporting him for, I don't know how many years we've been doing that, and so he does the outreach down there. We have another guy named Carlos, and he's in Bogota, Colombia, and he runs the Spanish outreach, and his English is really good. We talk, and so is David. We all talk in English, and so they run the Spanish outreach, or he runs the Spanish outreach, and he's been with us 10, 12 years, I forgot. We've been supporting him on a monthly basis, and they tell us how the Bible studies go, and the outreach that they have, and the emails that they get from people in those areas and around the world to speak those languages, and they're reaching people. So, I'm just telling you, this is what we do here at CARM. Then I work, my wife works part-time with CARM as well. And then we have volunteers. We have Charlie Spine, and I've known Charlie since, 1980. He's the guy who read me the quote from Joseph Smith, where Joseph Smith boasted he did more than Jesus to keep a church together. And it started me studying on apologetics, on Mormonism, and then from there I went to Jehovah's Witnesses and went to other groups, and then here we are. And he does a lot of good stuff for CARM as well. And then we have Laura, and Laura is in Utah, and she oversees a lot of stuff and kind of trains people in certain aspects of what we do here at CARM. So she's helpful. We have Joanne, and she runs the prayer ministry, and she's on the East Coast, and she's a sweetie. And so we have a lot of people gathered around us who are really good. We have another guy named Dave, who's in Southern California. I've known Dave almost as long as I've known Charlie, but since 1980. And Dave does a lot of the legal wrangling with CARM when there's legal issues, because we got to make sure we're doing things right. And if there's any legal questions, we have a lawyer, we have tax lawyers, things like that. Make sure things are good. And so he's also very knowledgeable. Charlie and Dave have been doing this for a long time too. They're not as dedicated to it as I am, because they've had other jobs, and done other stuff, and they've both retired. And so I've been doing this full time for a long time, and they're great. They know their stuff. They could take over the radio show easily, either one of them, and do a lot of Q&A and do that. So we've got a good team. We have a good team. Then we have Dara, and Dara runs the forums. A lot of people don't know we have forums. So if you go to, I think it's forums, what is it, forums.carm.org? Is that what it is? Let me check. Forums.carm.org. And yeah, that's where it is. And so you can join the discussions that go on there. I don't go there very often. And the reason is because if I do and I say anything, they jump on me like, just like a bunch of ants on something that dropped on the floor. They're just all over it, dog pile, because they want a piece of me. and I just don't have time to read everybody's posts, and then I just give up because I got too much to do and I can't follow 18 threads. Then they claim victory that they beat me because I don't know how to answer them, stuff like this. I get tired of that kind of stuff. But the forums, and there's a lot of good discussions going on there, a lot of good outreach. So that's good. And plus we got to, like I said, we got to Facebook, we got to X, we got to, where else do we go to? We go to Clubhouse. I do outreaches on Discord. So we're constantly reaching out. Anyway, having said all of that, when you support CARM, you're supporting all of that. Not just the radio, but the radio does, it's a big outreach too. Trying to get good theology out there, and Bible this and Bible that out there for people. So you will not see how your donations make a difference because there's just a lot of different areas that CARM is involved in, and God is the one who knows, and God's the one who sees, and God's the one who blesses. So if you like what you hear and you want to support this ministry that can reach out to literally millions of people, for very little cost, relatively speaking, then support us. So I've got two of my favorite emails I got from people. I just like saying, and then we'll get to the callers. I got an email, Broken English, one of my favorites. It's a guy from Vietnam, and he would take CARM articles and he'd print them up. He'd get on his motorcycle and he'd go up into his scooter, actually go up into the hills of Vietnam, and then he would walk miles on paths to get to the villages and then teach the Bible and use the articles. That's what he told me he's doing. And that was just awesome. And then another one that I remember was an email from an island chain. This guy in an island chain. He goes, "Man, we use your stuff here," and blah, blah, blah. And so I had to look this up. And I mean, it was a dot in the middle of the Pacific kind of a thing. I'm like, no way, it's awesome. And so we're just reaching out everywhere, and by God's grace, and we're trying to improve that outreach as well. So anyway, there you go. Let's get on with Rusty from South Carolina. Rusty, welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
Doing all right. Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there. What do you got, buddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, okay, one of my first questions is, do you believe once you're saved, you're always saved?
Yes, I do. I affirm that we cannot lose our salvation.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. And I think the same thing because me and my friend was talking about it. He said he don't believe in that. He believes you can lose it. But I remember you saying it a long time ago about if they still do the same thing they used to do, they might really not be saved.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things I ask people, if they say you can lose your salvation, I say, okay, what do you have to do to lose it? And give me a list.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, okay, so what things you've got to do to not lose your salvation? And they'll give me a list. And I say, so then you keep yourself right with the infinitely holy God by your goodness? Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the Qurans, while I was looking it up, it said the Qurans were made after the Holy Bible.
Yes, about 600
Their
years
Bible
after.
was made after. Sir?
Hey, hold on, buddy. We got a break. So hold on. We'll get back to this about the Quran and some stuff.
Yes.
All right. Okay, hold on there. Hey, folks, be right back after these messages. If you want to give me a call, the number is 877-207-2276. Be right back after these messages.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
All right, and welcome back to the show. Let's get back on here with Rusty. All right, Rusty, you're on.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So what do you
hello?
got? Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So from my understanding, the Qurans were made after the Holy Bible.
Right.
From what I was searching, I was just wondering. So but the religion was before Christianity, right?
No. Islam started with Muhammad, who died in 632, I think it was. So, and then he
Yes, you're right.
supposedly, with the Quran. So,
So
no, it came afterwards. Okay.
so people at my school was trying to say that Christianity is the baby religion.
No. Islam started 600 years after Christianity. Okay.
Right? Yes. That's why I looked up and searched too, and it tried to mimic a lot of stuff from the Holy Bible to try to make it seem like to make it right. And do it speak of any angels in the Quran?
Yes. Michael is mentioned. Gabriel is mentioned. There's some other ones. Azazel. I'm trying to remember, but they do mention. They mentioned Mary. That she's the only woman mentioned in the Quran. It mentions the Trinity and denies the Trinity, misunderstands the Trinity. It makes lots of mistakes. The Quran is an invention of just a desert guy, and it became popular because of force and threat and stuff like that.
I mean, my teacher, I kind of figured it out too, because that's why I was looking it up, and they got mad because they were like, okay, they don't want to go through all that. But because I know Islam came from Ishmael, they were saying.
Well,
like
they can say that. They can say that, but there were Arabs around at that time beforehand. So Islam, see, back in the Arab area geographically, before the rise of Muhammad, there was the Kaaba, which is that area where they have the big cube that everybody circles and bows down before and things like that. There were 360 idols in there. And so they were polytheists in the area, 360 degrees in a circle. And it used to be some of the theology, there's some evidence that the year used to be 360 days long. And that's a whole other topic, that it changed. But anyway, let me tell you what happened.
Okay,
so Muhammad came in, Muhammad got strong, and he destroyed all but one of the figures, the idols, whatever you want to call it, in the Quran, or got rid of all of them, and then said that it was Allah, which is Arabic for God, and it was, I've heard different things, I've read different stuff, that it was the moon god is the one that he focused on. That's why the crescent moon is the symbol of Islam. But there's there's a little bit of debate about this, but there you go. Okay. And do with Mormonism, do their Bible speak of the angels? Their Bible is the King James, so yes, it does. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He just taught me something else. Okay.
Yeah, they have 4 standard works: the Bible, the Book of Mormon, Pearl of Great Price, and Doctrine and Covenant. And so the D&C, Doctrine and Covenants, was altered, and a lot of Mormons don't know this, but it's a fact, and it's documented as history. It is. The Mormons is not taught. They're taught to don't ask questions, don't think, don't research. But yeah, the Doctrine and Covenants were altered after it was supposedly revealed by Joseph Smith. He corrected the King James. It's called the the inspired version. Wow, the inspired version of the Bible, and they don't use it though because it's so severely altered. And then Pearl of Great Price, and that is it's got some, I can explain all these, but okay, go ahead.
So with I was looking up something earlier too. It said something about Buddhism. Something with Buddhism was around when Jesus walked the earth.
Yes, it was before Christianity. Yep, it existed 1,000 miles away, in 2,000 miles away, whatever it is.
So that's how Jesus would be familiar with them, right? With their religion.
Well. There's a yes and no. There's a yes and no because the Jews were very cloistered. And what's interesting, a lot of people don't know, is that the Jewish nation tried to avoid a lot of paganism and stuff out there. What's interesting about Christianity and Judaistic thought is what is not in there compared to the polytheistic systems that were around them. And it's really interesting.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, they borrowed from this and that." No, they didn't. And so, yeah. But I'm sure. I don't know if they knew about Buddhism or Hinduism. They were around before Christianity was. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. You cleared up a lot. And okay, so with the one more thing. So with the angels that is mentioned, should we think of them as angels from heaven, or is part of Satan's army? Like with Tobit.
You mean in the Bible?
Like when Tobit talk about an angel. Yeah, no.
No, forget Tobit. Tobit is not Christian.
In the Bible.
Tobit's not
Right.
Christian. Okay. So the apocryphal books are not
So
inspired.
The angel they spoke of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the angel they spoke of
Who's they?
could not be from heaven.
Who's they though? Which books are?
Like Tobit. When they mentioned the angel, I think
Tobit is not scripture. All right, it's added by the Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church, but it's not scripture. All right.
So it mentioned an angel. I can't think of his name right now. But it mentioned an angel.
Azrael, I think. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, it's not.
Raphael. Sorry.
Raphael, yes. Raphael. So would that be that's not part of heaven angels, right? Oh,
I wouldn't trust anything it says. It's not an issue of it true or false.
Right.
It's apocryphal.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, God bless.
All right. Thank you. God bless you too.
Okay, we'll see you. Okay, bye. All right, now let's get to Tom from Florida. Tom, welcome. You're on the air.
Hello, Matt, and thank you for your commitment to Sola Fide.
Oh, yeah.
Many people appreciate it listening to you, so thank you. And may I please ask your interpretation and teaching on a verse where Jesus says, since the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom has suffered violence, and violent men take it by force. Could you expound on that, please?
From what I understand, what it means is that that the hostility of Christianity to Christianity, is there because of demonic forces and secular forces, and it suffers. The Christian faith suffers violence from persecutors of all sorts. Now we got a break, so hold on, and we'll be right back. Okay? We got a break.
Sure.
Hey, folks, we'll be right back after these messages. If you want to give me a call, the number is 877-207-2276. We'll be right back.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. If you want to give me a call, the number is 877-207-2276. Also, December is our matching funds drive month. If you want to support us, hey, now's a great time to do that. Whatever you donate will be doubled. So we have a matching funds donor. So if you donate 10, it'll become 20. If you donate 100, it'll become 200. That's how it works, and it's easy to do. Just go to carm.org, carm.org/donate. All right, let's get back on the air with Tom from Florida. Tom, you still there?
I am, thank you. Yes.
Right, now just because we're rushed, the context is talking about John the Baptist, who's imprisoned, and the Jewish nation and stuff. So I believe what Jesus is saying is that the people, the Jewish leaders, wanted the kingdom of God, but they wanted it the way they wanted it. And there was violence being perpetrated against the prophet of God, of the true kingdom, John the Baptist. And so they were taking it by violence. They wanted it that way, and not with the peaceful means that Jesus Christ was instituting. So that's cool, what I believe. Okay?
Yes, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
Okay. Well, God bless, man. God bless. All right. All right. Let's get to Jay from Charlotte, North Carolina. Jay, welcome. You're on the air.
How you doing, Matt? Good to talk
Hanging
with you.
in there, man. Hanging in there. So, boy, a lot of hanging, too. So what do you got?
Now, you said that you're not going to be on the air next week or something?
That's correct. Not next week, and I'll be back on the first day will be the January 2nd.
What's
so
going to
we'll
be
off
on next week? Reruns or?
Yeah, reruns.
What I was telling your screener there, when the other caller was discussing Islam, I was curious if Islam might be considered like a Christian cult, the technical idea of a cult, not like where you're insulting them, of calling them a cult, but the idea that if you look at a lot of different things in Islam, you can say, well, their roots come out of the Bible and stuff. I was just thinking now is like even if you consider like all of the way that they conquered the Islamic world through the sword, you can say, well, that comes out of the Bible. That was what happened when the Jews went into the promised
Well, do you have
land.
a question? Do you have a question, though? Do you have a question?
Well, would you consider Islam to be a Christian cult?
No, it's just a false religion. They don't use the Bible, but they do use biblical figures. Some have considered it to be a Christian or a cult offshoot of Christianity because Muhammad came in, took Christian concepts and messed them up, used Christian characters, did the same thing, Old and New Testament. And so some have called it that, okay?
And to me, when I look at different things that Islam does now, they would probably be pretty close to how the Bible was interpreted in the 6th century, and the thought being that...
well, hold on.
Go ahead.
So, wait, you tell how the Bible was interpreted in the 6th century. So what do you mean? How was it interpreted in the 6th century?
Well, I mean, to me, it's like basically the slam on Islam has been that they are basically haven't grown at all since the 6th century. And my thought there as well, a lot of the things that they do.
Well, I'm confused. Yes, they have grown significantly in the 6th century.
Well, I mean, not theologically though.
They've developed, like the same as Christianity. Hold on. Let me. Just as Christianity has, it's developed theologically as more has been learned out of the Bible. So too in Islam, more of its theology has been developed over centuries. Okay.
But they would probably still stick with a lot of the truths that were learned in the 6th century.
Yeah, there were no truths learned because Muhammad was a false prophet. He was a liar, and Islam is simply a false religion. So there's no truths that they learned, but what they did is they bought into the demonic forces and believed lies. And that's what Muhammad taught.
I would agree with you, what you said, that they're a false religion and all that, but what I'd heard previously was that Muhammad had interaction with Christians and Jews back in the day, and that was how he came into possession of the Christian knowledge, which he did basically corrupt.
He didn't. Yeah, there's some theories about this. He had definitely some influence from the Jews, contact with them. Now there was an error called Arianism that was around, prevalent at the time, and some people think that he came in contact with some Arians, and that's a Christian false-based cult, and it denies the Trinity and says Jesus is a created thing and things like that. So it looks like that was prevalent in the area, some think, and that he got his ideas from a lot of them and then misrepresented them and the Trinity and things like that in the Quran, which he obviously didn't know what he was doing.
Right. What I was thinking, though, is like it seems like there's a lot of things that if you were strictly to look at the Bible from a legalistic point there, that there's a lot of things that the Muslims do that Christians don't do, and maybe that's getting them brownie points with God that Christians are losing out on.
No brownie points. Islam's a false religion. They have a false God, a false prophet, and a false gospel. There's no brownie points with them.
Well, and I don't mean brownie points where it's actually going to do anything for you in eternity, but just with the different things that, as far as divorce or different things like that, where Christianity, maybe not true Christianity, but the Christian culture around us has accepted divorce lock, stock, and barrel. But I don't believe that is something that Islam would say that they approve of that or accept it, such as it is in the Christian world.
Well, it's not the Christian world. It just doesn't accept divorce like that. You got to remember, Christianity is diluted in America in a lot of areas, and so there are people who claim to be Christians that get divorced. So that's just not a good representation. However, in Islam, a man can divorce his wife by saying, I think it's 4 times, "I divorce you," and then they're divorced. You can just say it, but she can't do that. Yeah, so they do have that in Islam.
All right, and I wasn't aware of how that worked for them. But okay, Matt, it was great talking with you. God bless you. Have a great day. Love your program.
All right. Well, God bless. Thanks. All right. Hey, if you want to give me a call, it is easy to do. All you have to do is dial 877-207-2276. We've got nobody waiting right now. So, I'm going to let you know that I'll be doing a Zoom meeting tonight. Let's see, I'm looking at the notes. I'm supposed to be on at 8 p.m. Eastern Time in a Zoom meeting to discuss total depravity. So I'm going to ask the guy right now, will this be live for others to see, watch? All right. Or is it just a discussion? So I've been invited to a discussion group on total depravity. Oh, I got hiccups. So I'll be doing that. Don't know if it'll be broadcast outside or not or what. I don't know if the guy's doing it private and edits it later. So we'll find out. I just texted him. And there's that. And if you want, you can give me a call. It's easy. 877-207-2276. You can also email me. And to do that, just send an email to info@carm.org. Info@carm.org. In the subject line, please put in radio comment or radio question, and then we can get to it, stuff like that. So, that's interesting. All right. I'm looking at stuff. I got some emails that we've gotten from people, and I can get to some of those. Got some radio questions, and hey, look at that. We got some, we got a lot of, I get some emails from the same person. It's just constant emails from 1 or 2 people. Check this out. This is an email. The Gospels found in 1945 are true, except Judas and Gnostic Gospels. Luke, Thomas, John, Philip, Mary Magdalene are all true. Judas was a host for Satan. His gospel is a lie, says Cindy. They're probably talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls. And always, I get a kick out of people who just say things, Luke, Thomas, John, Philip, they're all true. How do you know that? There's no evidence for it. There's no reason. You can just make the statement and they go on. Not a very good way to do something like that. Hey, there's the music. We'll be right back after these messages. Please still stay tuned. 877-207-2276. Be right back.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. Last segment of the hour on this lovely day. So, I just found out that it'll just be this discussion, that I'll have in about an hour and 15 minutes. It's not going to be live. It's going to be pre-recorded. We're going to do it, and then he's going to edit it and then release something later. So that's what's going on. So it won't be for everybody to watch. There you go. Just letting you know. And Thursday night, I'm having a debate, and we'll give more information on that, where, who, what, when, where, and all that. On Mary's intercessory role in heaven. Is she an intercessor in heaven? I wish Catholics would just stop turning her into a goddess. I just wish they would. Well, she's not a goddess. She's a goddess. So I wish they would stop that. But hey, that's what idolaters do. They don't submit to God's word. They submit to what their church tells them. All right, so there's that. And also this is, December is Matching Funds Drive month. So like I was saying there, if you want to support us, it's easy. Just go to carm.org/donate. Whatever you contribute will be doubled. So just let you know. It's easy. And there you go. So we have nobody waiting right now. I think what I'm going to do is get to some of the emails, and we'll check them out. Here we go. Hello, Matt. It's been a long time. I have a question, or a few, that I feel is very important. I want to respond by Christians shouldn't... I want to be able to respond as a Christian should, but I'm not sure how to defend this. Okay. So her husband thinks that her dog is seeing a spirit or something. She's a certain kind of dog and isn't even afraid of a mountain lion. She has no fear. Every once in a while, she's terrified in a certain spot in our house. She will hide behind the couch before running, but like she's scared for her life. The husband started putting pictures of Mary around the area. I just said demands aren't afraid of, demons aren't afraid of Mary, or would a picture by of Mary blessed by a human. Yeah, get rid of the pictures. Get rid of the, don't put Mary statues and Mary pictures there. It's occultic to do things like that. It's like saying, look, there's a magic rock and a magic picture. Here's a magic necklace or whatever it is. We're going to put it over here and it'll get rid of evil spirits. And it's the same thing when they do. It's a picture of Mary. See, they're afraid of Mary. It's ridiculous. It's not going to do anything. It doesn't help any. If anything, it can make things worse. It really can make things worse. I remember watching a show where they were doing interviews with people with scary things happening in their houses. I remember this one I was watching. It's interesting stuff to me, so I'll watch it every now and then. And all these bad things were happening. Doors opening and closing, objects moving, things happening, noises. Just really, it was really bad to the point where the people actually left the house. But before they did that, they had an exorcist come in who does with spirits. And it was really something. This exorcist said, "You got any Bibles in the house?" "Yes." "Get rid of them because the demons don't like the Bibles." So they got rid of the Bibles. I'm like, wow. And I said, "Don't do that." So, God's word. But at any rate, remember that. I were yelling at the TV, "Don't do that." So I just said they're not afraid of Mary, but he gets so angry when I said that demons only fear Jesus. Good for you, because it's true. And then he got weird and asked if I believe in aliens. And I said no. And it got even weirder. Well, aliens exist. I mean, what are those unidentified things? Those things are real. I mean, there's actually physical craft. There have been spotted on radar. People have physically touched objects, abductees. There's stories all over the world. So something's going on. Okay, there really is something going on. The question is, what are they? So we call them generically aliens as though they come from another planet. Personally, I don't believe that. I believe that they're demonic manifestations. But and that's a whole other topic we can get into sometime. And then it changed to a documentary stating that if an evil spirit was in our house, it would be coming after all of us. Not necessarily. There are demonic forces that are interested in children. There's poltergeists. These are just the terms and behavior associated with them, that they tend to be mischievous in the house, not malicious. And a lot of times when there's young children, there's more occult activity around children sometimes. I don't know why, but I've heard that a lot. Anyway, and I just said that we are not going to all of a sudden start throwing up spit. It's hard to say. Split pea soup. I gotta say that right. And he got mad and demanding or so who was already baptized be baptized Catholic or Greek Orthodox. See, there right there is because it's Catholic and Greek Orthodox, it's just making things worse. The superstition and the idolatry in those two religions can only increase demonic presence and activity. So got to be careful there. I'm Greek, but I was baptized in a Christian church, not Greek Orthodox, and I know I was Christian as well. My son is 13, chooses our Christian church, and even chose to do his book report on the Case for Christ. I just want to be able to point to where the Bible defends this. It doesn't really do that. It's not like that. But I don't know what my dog's issue is, but I'm not praising Mary or using her as a defense. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. So you don't want to do that. So let's just talk about this a little bit. Let's just talk about what do you do if there's some weird stuff going on in your house? What should you do? Well, basically, you want to look for doors and things that open up doors. So objects can open up doors. Now, I'm not saying that if you have any particular objects, it automatically is occultic. I'm not saying that. But sometimes people with well-meaning intentions can open a door in your home, your life, your house, by giving you an object as a present. They're not malicious in this. Giving an object that has an occult connection to it. Let's say that someone goes to a New Age convention or a New Age bookstore or whatever, and it goes through contacting a spirit in a seance to find out which crystal has the right energy for whatever. And then they find this one crystal and they give it to you as a gift. Well, now that doesn't mean it's automatically going to be a demonic manifestation associated with it, because I don't know all the particulars and ins and outs of all the ceremonies and all the things, but objects do sometimes seem to carry the ability to be a focal point for demonic activity. And so that's a kind of a door. So if you've had objects that are used in seances, you probably want to get rid of them. If you have like a Ouija board in the house, it's definitely an occult toy. You want to get rid of that. Just various things. You want to just remove them. So I'm not saying that anything and everything a person's given you is automatically demonic, this or that. I'm not saying that. You just got to be careful and just be aware of things like that. And what I'd recommend is preferably the husband, father do it, but if he's not available because he's in a cult himself or a false convert like out of the Catholics or the Greek Orthodox or whatever it is, then the wife can do this, and that is just go through the house and anoint the house with oil. And what I mean by that is you just take a little bit of oil, and it could be olive oil if you want, and just take your fingers and just lightly touch it into there, and so you just feel it in your fingertips, and then go around the house and just touch the walls and just pray out loud, and pray to Jesus and ask Jesus to bind the evil ones, and that this house is for the Lord, or apartment or whatever it is, car even, whatever it is, and you want to do that on a not a regular basis, but you want to do that with the entire house. Now, I've done that in my house here, and we started having some things that were happening more and more, and I got to the point where I said, okay, I'm going to anoint the house, have my wife take the kids out, and they were gone for a couple hours, and I went through the entire house. And when I do something like that, I'm not saying my way is the only way, but when I do it, I touch every door, every wall, every closet, every wall in every closet, every wall in every bathroom. I mean, I really do it. I just go through the entire house. And even the floors, I'll do that. And sometimes I think I jumped up and touched the ceiling a couple of times, just anointing. It's not like everything has to be done all the time. It's the idea of consecration. And it's not that the oil has any magic quality. So you think about this. People were anointed with oil. they were anointed with blood. That means the object was applied to that. And you're baptized with water. So think about that. And so the thing that has the element applied to that object or that person is consecrated, is anointed in that, so to speak, ceremony. Now, I'm not saying you have to go through a certain formula, a certain way, you have to do a certain thing as if it's a ritual, for $9.95 you call me up and I'll give you the 3 things you got to do. Nothing like that. Just go through the house or your apartment, wherever it is, and just do this little ceremony where you're praying. I like to pray out loud when I do that to my Lord, my Savior, and ask Him to bind the evil one and consecrate the house to the Lord and all who pass through the door. You just talk out loud. Even if you repeat your prayer 100 times during the process, that's okay. It's not that repetition is a formula. Sometimes you just don't know what to say when you do this for a while and you repeat yourself. Just don't think of it as a ritual. Don't think of it as a formula and that this guarantees stuff. We don't want to get into magic and things like that. The issue is a humble submission to the Lord and a desire to consecrate your home and your family to the Lord. And you just go through and just do this by faith. And that's what I recommend people to do if they think weird things are happening in the house. Now, what else should you or might you do about that? Let's say there's a certain area, like this dog is looking at this one area. Well, here's a question. Was the house previously owned? And if it was, maybe there's a demonic connection that was left over from somebody who was bad there. Who knows? I'm not saying it was the case. I'm not trying to get everybody spooked out. I bought this house, 5 years ago, and it's 20 years old. What do I do? Well, nothing's happening. Don't worry about it. It's just always a good idea I think, to anoint the house anyway. I think it's a good idea. In fact, I got a car. I should do that. My car I got last year. And so, and objects and things like that. But it doesn't have to be mystical. Don't have to be all this, superstitious stuff. Don't worry about it. And if you don't do it, don't worry about it. But when you have activity like that, I generally recommend people do that. Preferably the father and husband, because he's a federal head. But if he's not open to it or capable, whatever reason, not a believer, then the mom can do it, the wife can do it, not a problem, and go through the house and do that. Okay? There you go. Hey, we are out of time, and I hope that the Lord will bless you. Remember that today is Matching Funds Drive, and if you want to donate to CARM and keep us on the air and other stuff, go to carm.org, carm.org/donate. And we'll be off. We're on this week right here for radio, so up through the 20th, and then we're off for the rest of the year and be back on Thursday the 2nd of January. May the Lord bless you, and by His grace, we'll be back on there tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then. God bless everybody.
Another program powered by the Truth Network.